Imagine this. You're at a family gathering, sitting around the table with relatives swapping stories. Your uncle starts retelling that one story from his youth about wrestling a large fish, and somehow the fish grows bigger every year. You've heard it countless times, and now everyone in the family expects him to bring it up at every event. Without realizing it, your uncle is doing something quite fascinating. He's perpetuating a tradition. So, what does perpetuate mean? In simple terms, to perpetuate means to make something last indefinitely, to keep it going over time. It can refer to traditions, ideas, habits, or even situations, whether good or bad. It comes from the Latin word perpetuus, which means continuous or everlasting. So when we perpetuate something, we're ensuring it doesn't fade, it carries on. Let's look at a few examples. Imagine your town has an annual festival celebrating a local harvest. Every year, people come together to plan parades, bake pies, and decorate floats. Despite the passing of generations, this event continues to thrive because the townspeople actively work to perpetuate the tradition. But this word doesn't only apply to positive things. Take stereotypes, for instance. When someone hears an untrue belief about a group of people and keeps passing it along as a fact, they're perpetuating that stereotype. It's a reminder that perpetuating something, whether it's a tradition, an idea, or a behavior, is an act of continuation. But not all things are worth keeping alive. Here's the thing. You don't need to be part of a committee or family legacy to perpetuate something. Think about personal habits. Have you ever caught yourself saying something your parents used to say? Maybe a phrase like, shut the lights off instead of turn them off. Without even realizing it, you could be perpetuating your family's quirks, or perhaps even their bad habits, like leaving socks on the floor. Looking at you, Dad. Perpetuation happens all around us, silently shaping our cultures, relationships, and even identities. It's both powerful and humbling to think about what we choose to keep going. Because in the end, the things we perpetuate become a part of who we are, whether it's that annual festival or your uncle's increasingly tall fishtails. So here's a question for you. What do you want to perpetuate? A kindness you experienced? A habit that brings joy to your life? Or maybe even a funny family story about a guy, a fish, and an ever-growing legend? Turns out the choice is yours.